Thank you, Faye. Good evening to you, wherever and however you've got TalkSport on. Brentford began their inaugural Premier League campaign, you remember, by dispatching one half of North London here at the Brentford Community Stadium. Arsenal were beaten by 2-0 on the opening night of the campaign, and Thomas Frank's men, as Faye has been saying, has continued to impress across the season in London derbies. Only Chelsea have a better record in capital clashes so far. Tottenham arrive here with the worst record in similar fixtures, with just 9 points gained. Arsenal opened up that 3-point gap over them with a win over Manchester United, live on TalkSport at lunchtime. So Antonio Conte wants his side, who failed to register a single shot on target in losing to Brighton last time out, to end a run of 5 London away derbies without success, to draw back level with the Gunners. Brentford left it late to beat Watford at Vicarage Road last time out, but at a cost. Ethan Pinnock limped off early in that game and is missing. So too Christopher Ayer, who took a ball in the face in training, and Christian Norgard, who picked up a knock. Johan Visser is also benched, as in come Jensen, Godos, Beck and Röslev to this 4-3-3 lineup. Raya in goal, Röslev, Janssen, Mads Beck and Rico Henry in the back four. Janelt, Jensen and Eriksson, the former Tottenham man, in midfield, and Bumo, Tony and Godos up front. The Spurs just one change from that defeat to Brighton. Sessegnon preferred to Reguilon, so it's Lloris in goal, Romero, Dyer and Davis the back three, Royale, Bentancur, Højbjerg and Sessegnon across midfield, Kulusevski, Kane and Son the front three. Martin Atkinson is our referee tonight, and this late afternoon sunshine bathing the whole playing surface here at the Brentford Community Stadium, save for a little shaded area behind just away to our left hand side of the west stand end of the ground. We're sat in the south stand about 20 rows back from pitch level. Opposite us and behind the north stand is the elevated section of the M4 taking you in and out of West London. Brentford in their traditional strip of the red and white striped shirts, black shorts and socks. Spurs in their change strip of purple with a little bit of lime green here and there, and it will be Spurs that have the honour. They'll be kicking from right to left as we look towards that west stand end away to our left, and all players take the knee on the instruction of Martin Atkinson's whistle, and we're ready for the off on Game Day exclusive on TalkSport to see whether Spurs can get back level with their North London rivals in that race for fourth place. Hugo Lloris will clear the ball downfield for the first time left-footed ever into the centre circle, but Vitaly Janelt has been an important part of Brentford's midfield, steps in a second time to dispossess Harry Kane. David Connolly alongside me inside this first minute. 4 changes forced, well, 3 of the 4 changes forced on Thomas Frank tonight, David, and they're in very important positions too.
Yeah, they are. We're just looking at Tony there. Again, he's won a flicker. I mean, he's just outstanding. Yeah, I think Brentford are playing a 3 at the back. We touched on it before the game. You know, Godos could play wing back. They played that way against Chelsea and it worked really well. I think against the top teams, he prefers to play that sort of way, block it up with a sort of back 3 and the 2 wing backs, and then maybe against the teams he feels he could maybe beat, like when they played Watford and West Ham after the European games, change to a 4. So it looks like they'll just be nice and tight with that 3-man midfield, and Janelt at the base of it instead of Norgard.
Yes, 4-3-3 is the system that Thomas Frank reverted to in recent times, and that's what got them out of the Championship and into the Premier League. But for a lot of this season it has been a 3-man central defensive unit, and Röslev, Janssen and Beck will provide that 3-man cover. Here's Spurs coming forward with Kane, flick it down the right hand side of the box for Son, who's offside. Flag goes up on that far side, and Brentford will have a free kick down the left hand side of their own penalty area. So we're into the second minute already on TalkSport. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. Spurs fans you can hear over on the far side in the northeast corner making plenty of noise, encouraging their team to make a good early start here and pressurise this Brentford team. They've been so good in London derbies so far this season.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Brentford. I mean, at times, you know, Tony and Bumo are right up against Dyer and Romero, saying, go on, just give it to us from the back. The lights are Röslev, just drop it in. I mean, whenever you've seen Tony in there, he's almost impossible to play against. He wins, I think, 90-95% of his flick-ons.
And he's fairly casual when it comes to penalty kicks, as we've seen. Will he get one tonight? 0-0. Jensen coaxes the ball in field, looking for Eriksson. It actually is headed into the path of Mbumo, who can send it out to the left-hand side as Rico Henry charges forward. Left-hand corner of the box, sends it back in field to Eriksson with his back to goal. Just gets away from the attentions of Kulusevski, who's then won it back for Spurs on the far side, but then he runs into Rico Henry, who's one of the most difficult left backs or left wing backs to get past one-on-one in this division, David Conley.
Yeah, he is outstanding. You know, he missed a sort of spell for Brentford, and they really did. They did miss him. He is top. I think Thomas Frank says he could be one of the top 3 in the Premier League, and the way he's taken to the Premier League has been superb.
Spurs trying to win the ball just on the halfway line. Kane has got it, immediately pressurised and dispossessed by Janssen, who tries to slip and Mbeumo through the middle, but Ben Davies stepped out from the back 3 and got a toe in to get the ball away for Spurs. 0-0.
Yeah, nice idea. You know, just slightly behind Mbeumo.
Bentancur, the elegant midfielder from Uruguay who came in the January window along with Kulusevski, gets the ball out to this left hand side. Heavy touch from Sessegnon, and it's won back well by Godos, and now Matthias Jensen up to the edge of the area, and Mbeumo on his left pulls the shot wide. Maurice was diving to his left, he took a deflection in actual fact, and Brentford have a corner inside 4 minutes. 0-0 on TalkSport.
Yeah, it's just a really good start. I mean, they're pressing high, Brentford. You know, they're not sitting off. They're going to try and win the ball high, playing a very high line. They won it back, but Mbeumo with that little strike, just wasn't a clean strike. It's taking a deflection, going out for a corner.
Ericsson will have the corner just down to our right hand side at the southeast corner.
Well, if you saw last week against Watford, they're really clever with their set piece and their corners, nearly scored from one.
It's going to be a right-footed outswinger from the former Tottenham man. Ericsson sends the ball into the near post, headed out by Davis, and Roersleff will chase back towards the halfway line to retrieve the ball for Brentford, and in the end knocks it back into his own half where his keeper David Raya waits. Diagonal ball looking to pick out Mads Beck on the far left hand side, trying to dispossess Bentancur, and he has done and won a corner, a second in quick succession for the Bees at the east stand end of the ground. 0-0.
Yeah, just a terrific kick from Raya, the goalkeeper. Came out of his area, he knew he couldn't hit a straight one because it goes straight through to Lloris. Yeah, lovely touch here.
As I saw at Chelsea a few weeks ago, you'd expect it from the Spurs fans. Ericsson going across to that northeast corner in front of those Spurs fans, and the ovation he gets, quite magnificent. Yeah, but he also got that in the Matthew Harding end a few weeks back when he was there with Chelsea.
Fantastic.
So he'll have a second corner in quick succession for Brentford at 0-0 as we approach 5 minutes on TalkSport. Another right-footed ball driven to the far post. Tony lobs it back across the face of goal, and Mbeumo tries to nod it down under pressure from the centre half Eric Dyer, and it's been given us another corner for Brentford.
If you saw the Watford game, this is what they did against Watford. They peeled out to the back post, eventually set back to Janelt, who had a really good strike just wide. This is the invention that Brentford they've used since they were in the Championship, set piece specialist.
And is there a better deliverer of a ball than Christian Eriksen from these sorts of situations? There can't be many. He's got the ball again in that northeast corner in front of the Tottenham fans for Brentford's third corner. This is chipped again high to the far post. Tony on the volley drives it into the chest of Bentancur. Comes out to Tony again in a hurried clearance downfield from Emerson Royale. But then on halfway, Rico Henry, the speedster, got in front of Kulusevski to guide the ball back to his goalkeeper. 0-0 it stays.
Yeah, brilliant. The same routine, because basically Tottenham mark exactly the same, so it's always on. I wonder if they'll change that. Twice now, Tony's completely free at the back post.
Strong header forward from Pontus Jansson, and an offside flag goes up against Mbeumo, who was coming back from an offside position, and so Spurs will have a free kick. 12 goals in their last 4 Premier League away matches, Spurs, but as we mentioned in the introduction, not one shot on target in that lacklustre 1-0 defeat to Brighton last time out. That's why they're 3 points behind Arsenal going into this game. You heard it live on TalkSport at lunchtime as Arsenal dispatched Manchester United in the end by 3 goals to 1 at the Emirates Stadium. 0-0 here on TalkSport with Kane dispossessed by Ericsson on halfway. Bentancur tried to drive the ball through the centre of the field for Son, but overhits it and it skips through to David Raya in the Brentford penalty area. 0-0. Well,
Ericsson knows all Harry Kane's little tricks, because as the ball broke to Harry Kane and Ericsson was just on his outside shoulder, he tried to nick it through Ericsson's legs and he closed them. Obviously he's tried that a few times in training.
Yes, quite the servant for Tottenham Hotspur, Christian Eriksen, over 300 appearances and best part of 70 goals in his time in North London, and there has been talk of Spurs showing interest in him to bring him back to Spurs in the summer, but I do believe that Brentford have first refusal on anything that Eriksen wishes to do once his short-term deal runs out at the end of this season. Roerslev on this near side for Brentford as they come forward again. 7 gone on Talk Sport, still goalless on Game Day Exclusive. Here's Matthias Jensen right in front of our commentary position, fires the ball right to left, seeking out Rico Henry, who chests it down, and then he's engaged almost immediately by Emerson Royale, who sent the ball out of play for a throw-in on that far side.
Yeah, they've turned that back three of Tottenham into a 5, really. There's a lot of space for Brentford to move in. I mean, Tony is almost pinning himself up. He doesn't get involved, doesn't come short really unless he has to. He just tries to peg that back unit of Tottenham as far back as he can, and there's so much space in front of him.
Rico Henry trying to flick the ball in field for Eriksson. Spurs want it back. Bentancur works it through the centre circle. Further forward by Son to Kane. Kane spots Kulusevski right hand side of the area, but dispossessed by Rico Henry, who was on him so quickly and sent it downfield, and Højbjerg can only divert the ball out of play for a throw-in to Brentford. 0-0, and the fans enjoying it. 8 gone.
Yeah, good start here from the home team, but Tottenham there at their best. Look, Bentancur, a little ball round the corner quickly, another ball round the corner into Kane, then he tries to feed Kulusevski just slightly behind him, maybe just allowed the pace of Rico Henry to get back.
Thumping wins today earlier this afternoon for Manchester City. 5-1 winners against Watford to go 4 clear of Liverpool. They play the Merseyside derby tomorrow. And Newcastle 3-0 winners at Norwich City. Don't forget, Tyson Fury, Dillian White coming up tonight. We'll move from West London to North London to Wembley Stadium and 90,000 boxing fans, but you'll get it live and free on Talk Sport. You can join Adam Cattrall and the team from 7:30 straight after this game. Safe's got a night off from the phone in. Ball hooked forward by Højbjerg over halfway, but it'll bounce straight out play into the arms of Thomas Frank. And Roerslev, who's been in and out of the Brentford side, but quite versatile, right wing back, right full back, and also playing midfield. He's been one of those important players when Brentford have had their injury problems.
Yeah, and look, you go back to their season in the Championship. I remember talking to Kevin O'Connor, who was saying, even when they were battling to get promoted, they didn't have the biggest squad. They never have, really, so they've done ever so well to be where they are.
0-0 on Talk Sport, Game Day Exclusive. Mads Beck, who's coming for Ethan Pinnock today, tries to slide the ball down the left-hand side, but it ricocheted back towards him off Kulusevski, and Mads Beck couldn't control the second ball downfield. It's out of play for a Spurs throw.
I mean, Spurs, you can see that just going to sit off, and just wait and hope that Brentford make a mistake, and then they go and counter quickly. That's how they're playing Tottenham, and letting the likes of Brentford at the back have it.
Lloris, just in front of his own goal, almost hit the ball against Ivan Toney. He was sliding in on 6 yards, but he found Ben Davies in any case. Bentancur gets into the centre circle, just plays it to his right for Højbjerg, tries to thread the ball up to Harry Kane, but Pontus Jansson and Janelt between them steal the ball back for Brentford. It's back with Raya, the goalkeeper, hits the ball out left looking for Henry, who climbs for the header with Emerson Royale, drops for Janelt, lovely ball into the centre circle for Jensen, and Jensen looks to feed it forward for either Mbeumo or Toney, but can't find either of them. It's won back by Bentancur, looks for Son Heung-min. 10 minutes gone on Talk Sport. 0-0 between Brentford and Tottenham in this London derby. Terrific atmosphere at the Brentford Community Stadium. Eric Dyer just rolls the ball to his right for Christian Romero.
They're just trying to find, say, the likes of Kane and Son when they don't have Janelt in front of them, screening that pass into him, either pressure from the back, Janssen pressure from the back on Kane, then Janelt from the front. It's just really difficult to get the ball into the front part of the pitch for Tottenham at the minute.
That's the voice of David Connolly, former Premier League and Republic of Ireland striker, alongside me, Ian Danta, here at the Brentford Community Stadium, where Brentford have just conceded a corner. Kane forcing Mads Beck to turn it behind at the West End end for Spurs' first corner of the game at 0-0.
Yeah, you'd rather he didn't give a corner away here. I mean, again, the ball's into Kane. They try and get the pressure from behind and in front, and Sorensen, you'd rather go out for a throw there.
So Son Heung-min will have the corner in the northwest corner of the ground, away on the far left-hand side of the field from us. Going to be a right-footed outswinger from Son. Bentancur just standing in front of the keeper. Movement to the near post from Dyer, looking for Christian Romero, bounces beyond him, and Godos just heads it out of play on this near side for a throw, which Sessegnon will want to take quickly. And you've got Højbjerg as an option further back towards the halfway line. Spurs in their all-purple away strip this afternoon on Talk Sport, back in their own half with Eric Dyer, and now Christian Romero looking to feed the ball down the right-hand side for the energetic Kulusevski. Bentancur driving into the Brentford half, squares it in field for Højbjerg, out to Sessegnon left-hand side, approaching the left-hand corner of the Brentford penalty area. Lovely interplay between Son and Sessegnon, who drives the ball across the face of goal, and Janssen has to turn it behind for a second Spurs corner at 0-0.
Yeah, that's much better. This time, rather than just passing in front, Bentancur drove with the ball and just sucked Janelt out, and it just enabled them to get past that first little line. Good play from Tottenham.
So Son will have the corner again, but this time it'll be a right-footed in-swinger from the southwest corner. Only one Spurs player in the 6-yard box. Kane and Dyer around the penalty spot. Højbjerg at the edge of the area, waiting for any bits and pieces that might come his way. Martin Atkinson just asking for a bit of pushing and shoving to stop inside that 6-yard box. Now Bentancur and Davies have gone into that 6-yard area as well to try and put David Raya off. Son will finally strike the corner into the near post. Hits the first defender, Godos, and headed further away. And Godos is onto it down the left-hand side, trying to launch a counter-attack here for Brentford. He's forced to turn back in field, and Beck has actually conceded a throw of Christian Romero, who stayed forward.
Well, that's a shame because they defended the first corner in really well. Janelt with the clearance at the near post, and that's twice now fielded those corners well.
0-0, 13 minutes gone on TalkSport. Højbjerg for Spurs. Plays a square ball to Ben Davies, approaching the left-hand corner of the box, trying to roll it into the feet of Harry Kane, who was trying to turn his defender Janssen, but he got the better of him, Janssen. Brentford's clearance doesn't make halfway, and Spurs have it back with Højbjerg once again. Gives it back to Eric Dyer in the centre circle. Short pass for Bentancur, and he squares it just behind for Christian Romero. Dyer again looks for Ben Davies. Brentford holding their shape, and Son trying to turn the ball quickly down the left-hand side for the run of Sessegnon, who was caught on his heels slightly, and it's a throw into Brentford in their right-back position. Here's David Connolly, it's 0-0.
Yeah, they're just getting reorganised here, Brentford, from the corner. It took them a little while to see that little passage of play out. Ericsson ended up on the right-hand side, he's now moved over to the left, and it's a good spell there from Tottenham.
14 minutes gone at the Brentford Community Stadium on Game Day exclusive. We've already brought you Arsenal's thumping win against Manchester United and Newcastle's big win at Norwich. That was live on TalkSport 2 this afternoon. Bentancur for Spurs at 0-0. Out for Emerson Royal. Forced to go back to the halfway line to keep possession. Again, everybody in red and white behind the ball for Brentford. Dyer has it just over the halfway line of the centre circle. Strokes it to his immediate right for Christian Romero. Ericsson closing him down. So it's Royal again on the right-hand side. But again, Brentford just forcing Spurs back. They're trying to find that route to goal, or trying to find that pass through. Now they're forced to go back to Lloris, and Brentford will push up to halfway.
Yeah, it's just excellent blocking, screening, tracking. They're going to have to do that today. You know, Janelt and Ericsson and Jensen in the middle of the park, they've got a job to do, because you've got Son, Kane and Kulusevski, those three. They're just trying to screen that pass into those three the whole time, and at some point, the likes of Bentancur or Højbjerg have got to run with the ball and just try and suck one of them out.
Royal passed the ball out of play on the far side of the field on the Spurs right, so Brentford have a throw as the sun once again comes shining down onto the Brentford Community Stadium pitch. Pulls back on halfway with Pontus Jansson, who scored that late winner against Watford. He likes the game against Watford. He scored both home and away against the Hornets this season, Pontus Jansson. Mads Beck works the ball into the feet of Tony, who has come short on this occasion. Work back to halfway, lovely skill from Vitaly Janelt to dummy his man and send the ball out to this near side of Rotten Godos. Early cross is deflected behind for a corner of Sessegnon. Brentford's fourth corner of the game, and we've only just played over a quarter of an hour on TalkSport. 0-0.
Yeah, it's brilliant move. I mean, Tony stayed high, created a lovely pocket of space, then came short, laid it off. Janelt, terrific little bit of skill, let the ball run across his body, and then drilled it out to Godos. They've won a corner, excellent play.
So Ericsson again with the delivery, this time from this near side, a right-footed outswinger to come. Only Mads Beck inside the 6-yard box in a Brentford shirt. Plays again at the far post, like Janssen and Tony. In it comes from Ericsson. Tony gets up off the bar, comes out, and it's headed away by Eric Dyer. Massive chance for Brentford to take the lead, but the bar spares Spurs blushes, and Lloris has stayed down, having injured himself, either making the save or from somebody charging in trying to get the second ball. 0-0 it stays.
Yeah, I think it might be Pontus Jansson here, just clatters into Lloris. But look, when you mentioned it earlier, when you've got Christian Eriksen, you've got all these ideas what you do on set pieces. When you've got Eriksen's execution of the delivery, anything is possible. Just puts the ball in around the 6-yard box. Tony gets up highest, crashes off the bar, and I think it might have been just the boot of Jansson. Maybe he might have stood on Lloris as he came flying in for the rebound. I'm not too sure he got a touch on that, but I think Jansson just stood on Lloris as he was sort of lying on the ground.
Yeah, I even think the actual effort on goal came off the shoulder of Emerson Royale more than it did off the head of Ivan Toney. But no matter, it hit the bar. Lloris is thankfully back on his feet, and we will restart with a drop ball, I assume, an uncontested one, as Martin Atkinson puts the ball out on the far side. You're listening to Brentford 0, Tottenham 0 on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with the Now Sports Day membership, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including Brentford Tottenham, live right now for £11.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports for all the deets. 0-0. Rico Henry for Brentford guides the ball down for Matthias Jensen at the left-hand side of the penalty area. They're trying to combine again, Henry and Jensen. Henry now works it back to Eriksen, 30 yards out. Little ball along the deck looking for Tony at the edge of the area. Hurry clearance from Spurs. But they've got Spurs hemmed in for the first time here, really, Brentford. Yeah. Eriksen again in the centre circle. Yeah, just dropping off a bit like a quarterback, that sort of position, Eriksen. Oh, lovely little back heel from Mbeumo, trying to get Godos in, forcing Sessegnon to turn it behind. Fifth corner of the half to Brentford, and we've not reached 20 minutes yet, 0-0. Yeah, and Eriksen at the heart of stuff, taking set pieces. He can put a corner, free kick, wherever he wants. Dropping off in the centre circle, switching the play, brilliant with his left foot, out to Rico Henry, then on his right. I mean, he looks up for it, which is good news, isn't it? You always wonder, playing against a former team, how you'd feel, but he's enjoying himself up there, and he has the corner on this near side. The Brentford right actually plays it short to Mbeumo. Now left-footed ball into the box is cleared away by the head of Sessegnon. Henry steps in, lofts it up to the edge of the area. Ooh, header. There were two players went for the same ball there, and it almost broke for Brentford. Kane tries to bring it away, but in steps Ivan Toney to get a vital touch to prevent the Spurs counter, and Brentford have it back on this near side, their right. Work back into their own half for Pontus Jansson. 0-0. 19 and a half minutes gone on Game Day exclusive. Remember, we're off to Wembley Stadium straight after the full-time whistle here. Tyson Fury against Dillian White in front of 90,000 fans. Lots of friendship at the weigh-in. In fact, I think Jim White wound Tyson Fury up more than Dillian White did this week. He might be next. I'll shake him on. Godos with a cross into the box for Brentford, knocked away by Ben Davis for Spurs. It's 0-0. We've hit the 20-minute mark, and it has been mostly Brentford, David Conley. Yeah, it's been an excellent start from them. Yeah, really, really good. Nice and confident, aren't they, on the ball? And they have the ball again. They're certainly not on the beach. Without question, they are enjoying their afternoon. And Spurs have already seen the crossbar rattled at their end from that corner routine. Toney, who went up for that header that came off the bar, has won a throw out on the far side, midway point of the Spurs half, takes it very quickly, and unorthodox down the left-hand side, and another corner as Rico Henry allows the ball to ricochet off Emerson Royale. So a corner for Brentford at 0-0 in front of those Spurs fans in the northeast corner. Yeah, just a really good tempo. I mean, ball goes out of play, Tony rushes and gets it, restarts quickly. So, they're the ones here that look like they need the points. That's certainly how they've played so far. Eriksen again takes the acclaim of those Spurs fans as he strolls over to set up this corner. What routine have they got up their sleeve here? Well, Godos and Janelt are in the 6-yard box. Beck and Janssen at the far post. Tony around the penalty spot. It's driven very hard to the far post. Again for Tony on the volley. Drives it goalwards and it's deflected off the fire Bentancur. That's the third time that Eriksen's found Tony with a corner kick, and at no point have Spurs got anybody out to him. Another corner. Well, I mean, surely they watched the Watford game, because they did this routine and nearly scored from it. But to Janelt, this time it's to Tony, and it's because the way Tottenham mark, they mark sort of zonally. Really, no one's man-to-man, so it's always going to be on. Well, Conte saying man-to-man now. Exactly. Down beneath us. They could have cost them. Really, that was going in. It's a really sweet volley from Tony. So another corner for Brentford, their 7th of the half. And Eriksen again raises his left arm before he drives this right-footed in-swinger into the near post. Kane heads it clear quite comfortably for Spurs, but Kulusevski won't get to the second ball. Instead it's sent back by Matthias Jensen for David Raya. And the goalkeeper looks out left for Mbeumo. Good header down clear for Spurs. Kulusevski trying to protect the ball down the far side of the field, and a good ball across the 18-yard line to find Eric Dyer, who can bring the ball clear for Spurs. Approaching the midway point of the first half. Goalless on Game Day Exclusive on Talk Sport. Here's Højbjerg. Oh, lovely flick round the corner from Son to find Kane, who was fouled by Roslev, and a free kick to Spurs about 10 yards inside Brentford territory. 0-0.
Yeah, Thomas Train just gives his team a little round of applause there, because I think it was the right call to make the foul, because Sessegnon was in.
They're taking the free kick quickly, Spurs, and Bentancur has it in the centre of the Brentford half. Worked out by Kulusevski to Christian Romero. Back in field for Bentancur and Højbjerg. Now Son 30 yards out with his back to goal. Feeds it back to Højbjerg, who strokes it first time out to Sessegnon on this near side of the left. Driving for the byline, Sessegnon. Tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked behind of Saman Ghoddos. And I think that's a corner for Spurs at the west stand end of the ground. It'll be their third of the half. It's 10 corners in the first quarter of the game, 0-0.
Yeah, you would say. I think both, wing backs are well matched, aren't they, pace-wise?
Short corner from Son, gets it back from Sessegnon. Down this left-hand side of the box, two Brentford shirts watching him. Rolls it back to Sessegnon once again. And then a poor touch from Sessegnon allows Mbeumo to seize upon the loose ball. Rolls it back to Tony, who's defending at the edge of his penalty area. And he guides the ball back to David Raya, who clears first time left-footed up to halfway. Ghoddos trying to step in front of Bentancur, but the ball's back with the purple shirts of Tottenham Hotspur, who are trying to get back level, remember, on points with Arsenal, who beat Manchester United live on TalkSport at lunchtime at the start of our Game Day Exclusive coverage.
Well, I'm just looking at the ball for Tottenham's on the halfway line. David Raya is on the edge of his penalty box, so that is where, with this high line, if there's anything over the top, he's there.
Well, now trying to release Ryan Sessegnon down the left-hand side, but the ball's overhit the diagonal ball, and it's a Brentford goal kick, and it's currently goalless. And for the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Brentford to win at 7-2, Tottenham at even money, and the draw is 5-2. That's all thanks to Betfair. You can get a £2 free bet when you bet £10 worth of Accas or Bet Builders with their daily rewards. 18 plus, and the website you need is begambleaware.org. Raya takes the goal kick downfield for Brentford. Looking for a flick on from Jensen, but it's a good strong header down from Højbjerg to Son, and worked back quite casually by Bentancur for Eric Dyer, playing at the centre of these three Tottenham centre halves, this formation that Antonio Conte has drilled into this Spurs team since his arrival. A bit of a renaissance for Eric Dyer really in that position as well, David.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going back to David Raya, if he's not going to play out and he's going to go long, he's got to find Tony. I mean, that ball just dropped about 10 yards over the halfway line, nowhere near Ivan Toney. So if he's going to kick long, he's got to have some accuracy and distance as well, otherwise it's going to drop and Tottenham are going to pick it up.
Now Ben Davies runs into Mads Bech Sorensen on halfway, and now Tony has broken down the right hand side towards the byline for Brentford, into the near post looking for Mbeumo, turned behind by Højbjerg. He wanted a foul on Son Heung-min on halfway, Højbjerg. That's what he's saying to Martin Atkinson, but the referee waves away the protest, and it's an 8th Brentford corner of the half at 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, these two work so well together, don't they? Mbeumo and Tony finding each other. I think actually the better ball was a little cut back. Ericsson was making his way to the edge of the area, didn't quite spot him though, Tony, but nonetheless, look, this is a corner, and this has been most likely their first route of goal.
Ericsson again, it's a right-footed outswinger to come just down to our right-hand side at the southeast corner here in the Brentford Community Stadium. Ericsson runs up to the ball, right-footed deep to the far post, over the head of Janssen, headed out by Emerson Royale. Kulusevski fighting for possession with Jensen, and he's fouled by Jensen, and Spurs get a free kick level with the edge of their own box. 0-0 on TalkSport.
Yeah, they just tweaked it a little bit there. Antonio Conte shouting on. They dragged Ryan Sessegnon out of the near post. He went and marked man for man, and at least they defended that one a little bit better.
Elsewhere today, nothing confirmed at the top of the Championship in terms of promotion issues, but Peterborough's relegation back to League One was confirmed this afternoon. So Peterborough, Derby and Barnsley all playing in League One next season, Wigan didn't secure the title either in League One. Doncaster all but down in League One, barring a goal swing miracle. But congratulations to Forest Green Rovers, promoted to League One for the first time in their history after a goalless draw at Bristol Rovers this afternoon, making history. They also made history by being the first team to go to a match in an electric coach today.
Yeah, I did see that. Expensive coach as well, by the sounds of it, but probably cheaper on the...
Well, it's not far from Aylesworth to Bristol, in fairness.
That's true.
David Connolly and Ian Dancer with you on Talk Sport. Saturday tea time, game day exclusive in this London derby. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. And in this opening 27 minutes, Brentford have been enjoying themselves, but they've got defending to do here, because here's Son Heung-min trying to drive past Roesleft, out to the left-hand side for Sessegnon, trying to drive the ball first time into the area, ricochets back out to Son, and now Ben Davies works it infield for Bentancur, fancies it to, wanted to go for goal from 30 yards, and you can hear what the Brentford fans thought of that as it shanked into the supporters a good 20 yards wide of David Raya's left-hand post, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas Frank will be delighted with how they've defended Brentford, because, you know, they're getting up to the ball, they're closing it down, anyone looks like getting in behind, they're stopping that threat as well, and it's been tough for Spurs to find a way through it at the minute. I mean, I read a good piece in the programme, Christopher Ayer, saying that, you know, Brian Reamer, the coach for Brentford, he's just got his arms around Thomas Frank, you know, he'll text him at night, you know, did you see that goal? See the defending there? You know, they're 24/7 thinking how to improve the club and improve their defending, and you've got to say that they've defended very well, certainly the last few weeks.
0-0. Tony tries to win a flick and almost did against Eric Dyer, pretty 50-50 there in the end. Roesleft feeds the ball down the right-hand side, and it's headed out of play off the face of Mbumo by Ben Davies, and Mbumo's just stayed down on one knee on this near touchline. I think the ball just headed right into his face without him knowing much about it. Might be a stinger on the end of his nose or something like that, so he's just slowly getting back to his feet.
Well, Harry Kane just motioned to Ryan Sessegnon, you know, just put his arms as if to say, look, just calm down, just settle down a little bit, because they've been in for a bit of pressure here, Tottenham, just see this out. I mean, I was at the Amex, and it was a kind of similar game. You know, Brighton had an awful lot of early pressure, but eventually second half, you know, the quality told that they have in the final part of the pitch, so probably what Kane's saying there.
Ericsson trying to loft the ball forward to Tony, couldn't find its target, and Spurs have it back with a diagonal ball in field from Sessegnon straight onto the chest of Henry. Lob forward by Ericsson to Mbumo inside the area, but that was good defending by Ben Davies, just leant into Mbumo and denied him the space, and Spurs clear downfield, 0-0.
Yeah, that was Brentford brilliant. You saw that at Chelsea, up, back and through. Ericsson just trying to play the ball into Mbumo after Tony laid it off, and well, Jansen's gone down here, but
he's trying to get back to his feet. Højbjerg wanted to play on, and Pontus Jansson is a player that Thomas Frank could ill afford to be without. He's already lost Ethan Pinnock today. He limped off early against Watford last time out in the Premier League, and Jansson looks like his left thigh causing him a bit of grief. He's just stamping his left foot into the ground to try and get rid of the pain. He's going to add to it, I would imagine. Anyway, 0-0, half an hour gone on Talk Sport, edging closer to fight night at Wembley Stadium, live and free on Talk Sport. You don't have to pay a penny, just get the app downloaded. The Talk Sport app is free to download for your smartphone, and you can take us wherever you go. And our coverage from Wembley Stadium starts at 7:30 with Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, Spencer Oliver, and Andy Clark will be calling the big fight, Tyson Fury against Dillian White. We'll see whether the body snatcher can cause an upset. Can Brentford cause an upset here? They're holding Spurs to 0-0. They're doing more than holding them to 0-0. It's a more than even contest. Here's Ben Davies on halfway for Tottenham. Rolls the ball backward to square to Eric Dyer. Bit of space for Christian Romero just to his right on halfway. Can move into the Brentford half away to our left. Plays the ball along the left looking for Son, but that was a comfortable clearance for Matthias Jensen, and Spurs have to start again at the back with Eric Dyer. Yeah, and this is where the two outside centre-halves or Dyer here have got to travel with that ball, but then they've got to be so careful to keep it. They give it away, the spaces they leave in behind for the likes of Mbumo and Tony, tough to make up. Højbjerg for Spurs, midway point of the Brentford half. Out left to Sessegnon. who works it back infield to Højbjerg, into the feet of Son at the edge of the D, turns to face the goal, tried to get it into the box, but Røslev got an important touch. Tony back defending, and Eriksson decides to hook the ball up in the air, brought down by Davis, neatly done. And then Dyer and Bentancur look for Son. Wonderful turn from Son Heung-min, working towards the edge of the area. Out for Sessegnon, crosses into the box beyond everybody and out of play for a goal kick. And Son is told to get up by some of the Brentford fans in the stand to the left of us. But wonderful approach play from the South Korean. But Sessegnon's cross went straight behind for a goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, really tight turn here from Son. Then he was away, and just as he drew the foul from Godos, just released the ball, and probably the ref played the advantage, right thing to do, and just didn't make the most of the cross in the end. I mean, Sessegnon's been quiet. You know, he was in the team, then he was out of the team, and
I think he's Conte's preferred option when everyone's fit and available on that left-hand side of the floor.
Well, I think the Leeds game sticks in the mind. He put a brilliant ball across from one wing back to Doherty, the other, who scored. But he's just started a little bit slowly here out on the left.
He's the only change that Conte made from that performance against Brighton, where he could have been excused for making more changes, I suppose, with not one shot on target that day at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And they've yet to test David Raya. And we've got 12 minutes to the break on TalkSport. Game day exclusive. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0 in this London derby. Brentford have the ball at the edge of their own area with Pontus Jansson, who seems to have run off that little knock he had before. Raya finds Eriksson, who can stride over the halfway line down the far side of the field from us. Henry there in support, just tucks the ball back to Janelt on the halfway line. Vitaly Janelt with a square ball to Mads Røslev. And now Matthias Jensen just in front of our commentary position. Early ball back in field for Vitaly Janelt. Mads Beck has his hand up, wanting the ball rolled to him with his mop of blonde hair. Røslev tucks it back out to Matthias Jensen on this near side. The Brentford number 8 goes in field for Janelt, being watched by Kane but not closed down too severely. Eriksson in the centre circle, looks to send it forward to Mbeumo inside the area. Across comes Sessegnon to deny the space and hook it out of play for a Brentford throw. But just one ball from Eriksson nearly got Brentford in behind, 0-0.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Kane watching, as you say, that's what it is. It's sort of passive pressing. They're not really going with any intent. Tottenham just sitting off, and that's why Eriksson's dropping deeper and deeper like that quarterback role, because you get someone on the ball like that who can pick a pass, then you're in trouble. And that was superb, just in behind Sessegnon, who just recovered in time.
Everybody seems to have a long throw specialist these days at football clubs, and Mads Beck appears to be the one who's on towel drying duties on this near side.
Well, they're great, because look, if Pinnock's not fit, as he isn't today, he got the assist last week against Watford, then they've got Sorensen.
And it is a long throw from Sorensen into the box, headed up and out by Højbjerg, back into the mixer, into the 6-yard box. It's half cleared by Davis. It's going to drop at the edge of the box for Sorensen, who's coming field now. Tucks it out to this near side for Jensen. First time cross deflected to the edge of the area, helped on by Janssen. Half volleyed clear by Emerson Royale, and Rico Henry is first to the loose ball and guides it back to Raya. And again the applause rings round the Brentford Community Stadium. The appreciation of both the offensive and the defensive work that Brentford are putting in today at 0-0.
Yeah, but Eriksson, look, he's now on the halfway line, so he's just dropping deeper and deeper just to get on the ball and thread the odd pass or two.
10 minutes to half-time on TalkSport. Still goalless at the Brentford Community Stadium, but the Bees coming forward, attacking the east stand away to our right in this first half. Eriksson again dropping into the centre circle as Beck has the ball left-hand side. An attempt by Godos to turn it down the left-hand side. He's switched with Jensen for the moment, who's come out to that right wing-back position in front of us, Matthias Jensen. And Godos has moved in field.
Amazing, look, he's got it now, Eriksson.
Just in front of the centre circle, looks to fire the ball into the path of Ivan Toney. But just one club too many from Christian Eriksson. Goes behind for a Spurs goal kick away to our right. 0-0. More live football to come in the week across the TalkSport network. Champions League Tuesday night, Manchester City against Real Madrid, live on TalkSport. Our coverage starts at 7 p.m. At the same time over on TalkSport 2, Fulham against Nottingham Forest in the Championship. Fulham denied the title today by a late Bournemouth penalty at the Vitality, but the title could be theirs on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, also from the Championship, Middlesbrough can still get in the playoffs, but they have to win realistically their last 3 games, including their game in hand against Cardiff. That's on TalkSport 2, 7 o'clock. And then West Ham and Rangers in Europa League action live on Thursday night across the TalkSport network. 0-0 with 8.5 minutes to half-time at the Brentford Community Stadium. Brentford goalkeeper David Raya has the ball at his feet. Plays the ball right-footed out to this near side. Godos is back, hugging this right-hand touchline. Heads it out of play, and Spurs will have a throw.
And Antonio Conte just throws the ball behind him as Godos went round the front of him to take it off him. Got a few boos from the crowd there.
Of course. He's got his long hooded overcoat on this afternoon. You can't see the stylish Italian knitwear.
Well, he's not the only one.
Well, yes, you are. Listen, you are a clothes horse, David Connolly. I won't have it said otherwise. And you are winning the style stakes at the moment. Nobody's winning on the pitch at the moment. It is dead level. David Raya just been closed down by Harry Kane. Passes neatly out to Yannick, just ahead of the 18-yard box. Crossfield ball is intercepted by Son, and he works it back to Højbjerg, and Spurs have possession and can try and work it forward quickly to Kane. Kane in the centre of the Brentford half finds Bentancur. Now out to the far side via Christian Romero to Kulusevski. Royale on the overlap, but Kulusevski's gone back for Christian Romero. Just rolls his foot in the ball and works the ball back to Eric Dyer on halfway. Now Ben Davies looks for Sessegnon. Early ball in field to Son. Lovely touch for Ben Davies, who continued his run in the inside left channel, and Roerslev fed the ball back to his goalkeeper at some pace, but Reyes dealt with it well, and it goes out of play for a throw on this near side in the end. 0-0.
Yeah, he did deal with it well. I'm sure he would say to him, what was that for a back pass? I mean, fired it back to him on the bounce, getting pressed.
I was telling you earlier about teams being relegated, but I didn't mention Oldham Athletic. Their game against Salford was abandoned with 11 minutes left to play after a pitch invasion by Oldham fans, and the home side 2-1 down. That's a result that would have seen them relegated to the National League, but that game abandoned. More to come on that, I'm sure. 0-0 here on TalkSport at the Brentford Community Stadium as Harry Kane just chips the ball into the arms of David Raya. No pressure at all there. Not sure what Kane was trying to do there, David Conley.
Well, I think if he was trying to chip Raya from the edge of the box, I mean, he just got it slightly wrong. Didn't get under the ball enough, certainly.
Does that count as a shot on target?
I think so. But look, ball up to Tony.
And he's won it again.
Yeah, he's just almost impossible to mark in the air.
Ericsson drifting down the left-hand side for Brentford at 0-0. Ball goes infield to Vitaly Janel. Now Madsbæk Sorensen on halfway. Ericsson once more. Calm ball back infield to Janel. Suddenly a hush falls over the Brentford Community Stadium, almost for the first time since kick-off. Just over 5 minutes to the break on TalkSport. Sorensen rolls the ball up, but it can't find its way to Ericsson. Little nick on the ball from Bentancur, and Spurs have it back, and they're flooding purple shirts forward to try and launch a counter-attack, but pretty soon Brentford have everybody back in the positions they want inside their own half, and Bentancur has the ball on halfway for the visitors. Faced up by Mbumo. Back for Eric Dyer. Now Tony coming to close him down, so he's forced to release the pass early back to Christian Romero. Royale in field for Højbjerg, tries to work it down the right-hand side for Kulusevski, who's got Madsbæk sticking to him like glue and won the ball back.
Yeah, just aggressive play there. Superb.
Now Ivan Toney, just inside the Spurs half, back heels it for Saman Ghoddos, who can just get away from Eric Dyer. Now Tony's peeled out to this near side, the inside right channel, trying to go on the outside of Sessegnon, who won the ball back. Tony wanted a foul, but the referee Martin Atkinson says play on. Kane turns into trouble himself as Jensen robs the ball back, and Brentford have it again with Ivan Toney on this near side the right, level with the Spurs penalty area. Just flicks it down the box, right hand side of the box for Ghoddos. Tony again tries to hit a first time cross. It's deep to the far post. It's overhit. Has it gone out? I think it has. It went out on the full before it landed on the touchline, on the dead ball line. So a goal kick to Spurs, and Tony looks at the assistant and puts his finger to his head and says think.
Well, you know, going back to the game I last saw Tottenham was at the Amex, and this is a similar performance to that first 45, you know, where they didn't really offer much, a little bit lethargic in terms of how they're playing the ball around and lost possession an awful lot, been under pressure as well, soaked up, and then second half they're a sort of a different team. Let's wait and see how this get through to half time and how second half pans out.
Well, Brentford debut Premier League season, you'd expect rope-a-dope tactics in a game like this against Tottenham, but far from it. They've been on the front foot, and they're looking to send the ball down the inside right channel headed down by Ben Davies, and plenty of space for Bentancur to pick up the loose ball and dash towards halfway. Into the feet of Kulusevski, tries to turn the ball down the left-hand side, but Sessegnon wasn't where he expected him to be inside the Brentford half, and so the ball just dribbles out of play on this near side for a Brentford throw. 3 minutes plus added time to half-time. On TalkSport Game Day exclusive, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, you've got to say they've defended really well as well, Brentford. Whenever the ball has gone into Son, Kulusevski or Kane, they've had pressure from behind, they've had pressure from in front, just really pressed the touch and forced little turnovers and errors.
Lovely touch from Mbeumo, and Ericsson looks to find Rico Henry out the left-hand side, but
he's quick, but not that quick.
Yeah, and Emerson Royale's not exactly a slouch, and then Rico Henry just nudges Emerson Royale over as the Tottenham wing-back got away down the right-hand side. So Spurs have a free kick, taken quickly and short infield via Højbjerg to Bentancur in the centre circle, and he plays it left for Ben Davies. Back to halfway for Eric Dyer. Plays a little 1-2 with Højbjerg, teased out to the right-hand side once again for Christian Romero, who's proving a very important player already for his country, Argentina. Just over, made it into double figures in terms of caps, but they see him as one of the big answers to Argentina's defensive problems in recent seasons. Brentford trying to get the ball clear from the edge of their own D. Matthias Jensen helps it on Ericsson with an important touch, and then Mbeumo goes down under pressure from Højbjerg, and Brentford get a free kick just at the edge of the centre circle in their own half. It's 0-0 and we're approaching half-time on TalkSport.
Well, he's a lucky boy, I think, Højbjerg there, not to be booked. I mean, that is Brentford's tactic, sitting off, all 11 behind the ball, really compact and deep. You know, not much space between the lines, probably 30 yards from back to front, and then when they get it, go in counter and attack those spaces. And if you get like Højbjerg bringing someone down like that when he's on the run, I mean, that should be a booking, really.
You're listening to Brentford 0, Tottenham 0 on TalkSport with We Buy Any Car. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you more time to enjoy the football and the boxing, because that's coming up next on TalkSport once we're done here. Approaching half-time, into the last minute of normal time we go at 0-0. Brentford's free kick downfield, helped down the right-hand side of the box, and Mbeumo wanted to get there first. Sessegnon forced to turn it out of play for a throw to Brentford on this near side.
Yeah, they've got a throw in this deep area from what? Just a long, direct ball with accuracy up to Tony, who wins the flick on again. He's almost, like I said, so many times impossible to defend against.
Looks like we're going to have just the 1 minute of minimum stoppage time, but we haven't reached that point yet. Still 30 seconds of normal time, but it's going to be another huge throw from Mads Bech Sorensen. Ericsson is just down the touchline if he wants to feed a short throw in, but Mads Bech Sorensen going for that long throw into the near post, headed back out to him by Dyer, tries to lob it back into the box, heads go up at the far post, and so does Hugo Lloris, and claims it comfortably. 0-0. Quick clearance downfield, left-footed, looking for Kulusevski, but it comes off the back of Röslev and will just bounce through to goalkeeper Rea. And again, Thomas Frank applauds his players, and the applause is replicated around 3/4 of this ground at 0-0.
Because what you would say is when they're attacking, so they've got to throw, launch it in the 6-yard box, they've got their defending, their rest defending sorted. Rico Henry the deepest one because he's the quickest, and Röslev in front. I mean, they've snuffed out any danger really well.
Now Godos trying to make tracks into the Spurs box, and Dyer again forced to clear the ball out of play for another long throw coming up from Brentford right by the corner flag.
But was he forced? He forced? No, exactly. I mean, he put it out of play, but actually should have stayed on the ball and tried to work and find a way out of trouble. Instead, putting it straight out, knowing that this is going to be a throw coming in the 6-yard box. He's got to defend this again. I mean, he had to stay on the ball there and find a way out of trouble.
So another long throw coming in from Mads Bech Sorensen, and then as soon as I say that, he throws it short to Ericsson, left-footed cross deep to the far post, drops at the far stick for Henry, tries to guide it down to Janel, clipped to the far post, headed away by Dyer, only as far as Godos, out to the left-hand side. Godos has it back at the edge of the area, loads of players in front of him, his shot is blocked, comes out to Röslev, back to the edge of the centre circle, and Rico Henry and Martin Atkinson brings the first half to a close. Rapturous applause around 3/4 of the Brentford Community Stadium for the sheer effort and tenacity that Brentford have shown in this first half in this London derby. They've come closest of all to breaking the deadlock from one of the 8 corners they forced in the first half. Ivan Toney went up for a header, it crashed off the crossbar. Spurs at the other end have barely created a chance worthy of the name. Brentford are enjoying themselves. They may not have much to play for, but as it stands, they're denying Tottenham the chance to draw back level with Arsenal in the race for 4th place. At the break on TalkSport, it's Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Thanks, Faye. No changes from either manager, it would appear, at the break, so Brentford get us underway with their red and white striped shirts, black shorts and socks, and they'll be kicking from right to left, Brentford, as we look towards the west end of the ground. The sun is gradually setting behind here on this very pleasant early Saturday evening in West London. Spurs in their change trip of all purple with a bit of green detail in there. Oh, and a clearance by Lloris straight against Ivan Toney. Goes out of play for a throw on this near side. Dicing with danger at the back there, Ivan Toney, and nearly made to pay inside the first seconds of the second half.
Well, this is almost like Stefan for Man City, taking too long in possession. I mean, Ivan Toney slid in on Lloris in the first half. He does exactly the same here, nearly gets there. Lloris just got it away in time.
Which means another long throw to come into the Spurs box. There were a few of those in the first period from Brentford, and Mads Beck is ready to launch another long throw into the box. Goes up to the edge of the area for Ivan Toney, gets it back for Mads Beck, who can't drive it goalwards. I was telling you that Spurs in their all-purple away strip are heading for the east stand end, and the Spurs fans are in the north-east corner. Quick run through the lineups for Brentford. Raya in goal. Then you've got Roerslev, Janssen and Sorensen as a back three, Godos and Henry as wing backs, Janelt, Jensen, Eriksson, Toney and Mbeumo up front. For Spurs, Lloris in goal, Romero, Dyer and Davis in the back three. I'll break off for a moment because Son Heung-min's darting infield up to the left-hand corner of the box, trying to play it through for either Sessegnon, who made a run through Kulusevski. It's only half cleared and it drops for Kulusevski right-hand side of the box, and then Højbjerg gets too much loft on the attempted ball back into the area, and it's out of play. The rest of that Spurs lineup in front of the back three of Romero, Dyer and Davis, Royal, Bentancur, Højbjerg and Sessegnon, Kulusevski, Kane and Son as a front three. Spurs haven't drawn a game in 2022, won 11 and lost 9, and they don't want to lose here because they're on a run of 5 away defeats in London derbies. They've never gone 6 without an away win in London, and just 9 points in London derbies gathered this season by Tottenham Hotspur, who win a throw in their right back position. Not sure how tempted Antonio Conte would have been to make a change at half time, David, or wants to give them 10-15 minutes to step up a gear?
Yeah, I think they'll get plenty of time, those players out there. I mean, I think the starting 11 more or less picks itself really, unless there's an injury.
Royal takes the throw for Spurs on this near side, gets it back from Højbjerg and lobs it up to Son, who brings it down neatly, top of his chest, rolls it down the right hand side for Kulusevski, faced up by Roerslev. Kulusevski pokes it back to the edge of the area. He was asking a lot of Emerson Royal to take that in his stride, and he couldn't. It just came off his toe end and rolled through to David Raya. 0-0 it stays. 3 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport.
Yeah, and actually the assistant referee had put his flag up, so I think Kulusevski was offside anyway. Nonetheless, he fired it back at Emerson Royal. Couldn't really do much with that.
So it's cleared from hands by David Raya. Toney wins the flick on as sure as night follows day, David Connolly, and now Mbeumo wins it off Christian Romero, tries to guide it back at the edge of the area for Eriksson. Hurried clearance from Spurs. Kulusevski will leave it for Christian Romero to bring clear, and he is the diagonal ball to try and release Son Heung-min down the inside left channel, but Roerslev stays with him and finds a teammate, and Godos launches it downfield, and Ivan Toney gets past Lloris. Oh, he barges into Ivan Toney, and he won the ball, did he? Because Martin Atkinson says play on, and it's merely a throw to Brentford as Lloris came charging out of his 18-yard area and just beat Toney to get the ball out of play.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't going to get there first. I mean, committed as well, Lloris, but he just about got there in time. That was close though.
That sweeper keeping, I mean, Lloris is one of the best known exponents of it, and he needed to be quickly.
Well, do you remember the Leeds game?
Yes.
He rushed out against Leeds. I think he's lucky Dallas didn't score in that game. This is almost similar.
0-0. Brentford in possession on this near side. Rico Henry, who came to the club when Dean Smith was manager, having brought him through at Walsall. Very accomplished full-back, either in a 4 or in this wing-back role that he's playing this evening. You're listening to TalkSport, Game Day exclusive. Spurs desperate to get back on terms with Arsenal points-wise in the race for 4th place, but as it stands they're going to be 2 points adrift of the Gunners. It's 0-0 here. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the second half. Matthias Jensen gets his head up from halfway, floats the ball downfield for Ivan Toney. Brilliant first touch at the edge of the area, keeps it away from Emerson Royale, plays a 1-2 with Rico Henry. It comes back to Henry, who drives it across the face of goal and lifted over the bar by Mbumo. It'll merely be a goal kick for Spurs, but good attacking intent in these early stages of the restart by Brentford. 0-0.
Yeah, brilliant switch of play from Jensen here over the top to Toney, and you just thought the sort of area open out, the goal opened out to maybe bend it in that far corner, try to be clever and go on his left foot. They sort of read it, missed the opportunity, and in the end, difficult sort of cross to keep down for Mbumo, bounced right in front of him.
Short goal kick taken down the left-hand side for Tottenham. Plays for a foul on Davis, not given, and the ball's rolled across the 18-yard line, but it won't find Ivan Toney. Romero steps in and wins it back for Spurs, and the ball's guided up to Son on halfway, who is caught by Godos, and that'll be a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. 0-0, second half, 5 minutes gone, and don't forget, as soon as we're done here at the Brentford Community Stadium, we'll be off to Wembley Stadium, just around the M25, for Tyson Fury, the homecoming against Dillian White. Our coverage starts, our exclusive free coverage starts at 7:30 with Adam Cattrall and the team ringside.
Well, you'll definitely be going down the North Cirque dance.
Now here's Kane trying to get a shot at the edge of the area on the turn, and he's won a corner off a deflection from Pontus Jansson. For the first time, I think Harry Kane's been able to turn, face goal, and try and get a shot away in this match. Corner, 0-0.
Yeah, this is where Romero just drags out Jan out so he can get the ball into Kane's feet in the box, up against Jansson. As you say, tried a little turn, took a little nick off Jansson, and it's a corner.
You're right, though, it would be North Circuit for me.
Yeah, if it's M25, I think you'll be late, that's for sure.
Now, Son Heung-min with a corner in front of those Tottenham fans in the northeast corner. Right-footed, in-swing to come from the South Korean. Plenty of bodies around the edge of the 6-yard box. It's swung in for Kane, but it's headed away from him by Pontus Jansson. Kulusevski brings the ball down, drifts out to this near side. Lovely ball infield to Kane, trying to roll his defender right hand side of the box, clips it up to the far post, beyond Eric Dyer, and headed behind by Mbumo, back defending for another Spurs corner away to our right. 0-0.
Yeah, lovely little ball here. Again, Kane receives in the box, this time down the right hand side. Nice deep ball towards the back post, but they cleared the danger. They actually had to play it down, didn't they, in that move? Yeah, I think it's Rico Henry. He's back to his feet now.
I think he lost his boot.
Yeah.
But he's got it back on now. The ball's only just being rolled out to Heung-min Son on that far side, again in front of the Spurs fans in that northeast corner. The Spurs' fifth corner of the match, 0-0. Raises his right arm, then plays a short corner to Sessegnon. Back to Son again, faced by Mbumo. Back for Sessegnon. Crossing is headed away by Toney. Comes out to Emerson Royale, centre of the Brentford half. Shovels it out to this near side for Kulusevski, who's one-on-one with Godos. Steps inside his left foot. Lovely ball to the far post. Almost found Son. Brilliant defending by Janelt to flick it away from Son for another Spurs corner away to our right. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, good response though, isn't it? You know, they kept the ball alive. Kulusevski cuts infield, in-swinging ball towards the back post. Son was coming in onto it. Janelt did really well to get there in time.
So Son again raises both arms this time ahead of this corner, which is drilled into the near post, headed out by Toney again, doing his defending for his team. Mbumo giving chase after the loose ball. Sessegnon got there first, and Højbjerg helped out, and in the end Emerson Royal guides it back to Hugo Lloris, who under pressure from Eriksson gives the ball straight to Saman Godos. Wins the battle of wits with Kulusevski and drifts down the inside left channel for Brentford. Rico Henry on the overlap. Across comes Christian Romero, and a superb challenge from Christian Romero to win the ball back.
It was, but he shouldn't have been allowed to make that challenge. It's just a weak pass from Godos to Rico Henry on the overlap, just left him short.
And now Spurs trying to come forward. Down the far left-hand side, Son cuts in field, lays it off in the centre circle to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Lovely ball, clipped down the right-hand side of the box for Emerson Royale, drives it into the area. Kane turns and shoots, it's blocked. Kulusevski with a follow-up block, and then a shot from Bentancur is blocked by a Brentford leg inside the area, and eventually it's out of play for a Spurs throw. 3 efforts in quick succession, neither of them actually went anywhere near David Raya's goal. 0-0.
No, this is because Godos and Rico Henry are both then committed at almost in Tottenham's box. Were really slow to get back in, and that's the space that Tottenham attacked.
David Connolly, you can hear alongside me, Ian Danta here at the Brentford Community Stadium. 0-0. Nearly 10 gone in the second half on TalkSport. Son whips a really dangerous ball in. Actually, it's too heavy from Son. It goes out on the full. for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Brentford 1-6, drawn 2 and lost 8 of their matches here in their inaugural Premier League season, but we all remember what happened on the opening night of the campaign when Arsenal came here and got beaten by 2-0.
Well, they were superb here against Liverpool as well.
A 3-3, yes, we had that live on TalkSport as well early in the campaign.
I mean, they've had some real highlights, and obviously they had that spell where they lost, what was it, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 games or whatever it was.
They went 8 without a win.
Yeah, but they've certainly recovered well.
Won 5 of their last 6 in the Premier League, and they haven't lost when Christian Eriksen has played. In fact, he's been scoring and assisting goals in that excellent run. Now Ivan Toney for Brentford comes in field from the left-hand touchline, midway point of the Spurs half, but he's carried it too far ahead of him. Spurs have won it back, and Kulusevski scrapping for possession with Rico Henry, who actually won the ball off him, but that Janssen couldn't give the ball back to his left wing back, and Spurs have a throw right in front of our commentary position, about 20 rows back in the south stand here at this beautifully appointed new stadium that they somehow managed to drop into this space right by the elevated section of the M4. Bentancur for Tottenham Hotspur, out to the left-hand side, and Sessegnon, who darts in field, looks to find Ben Davies, who'd come forward at the edge of the area. Janssen stepped in and was told put it out of play, which he did. 0-0.
Yeah, and this is a much better second 45 start, you know, like the one at the Amex. You know, they've come out all guns blazing, really good on the front foot, much more positive, passing quicker, taking players on, you know, really committing forward here, Tottenham.
Now they've committed players forward and allowed Brentford to counter, and Bumo gets to the edge of the area, plays it across for Eriksen, but he's just denied by another important challenge by Christian Romero, but Spurs can't get it clear, and Bumo again, left-hand corner of the box, support from Eriksen, and now Rico Henry joins in, level with the edge of the area, up against Emerson Royale, goes past Emerson Royale to the byline, and Christian Romero slides in and puts it behind for a Brentford corner. Good industry from Rico Henry inside the area, but it's a corner only for Brentford. 0-0.
Yeah, fabulous here from the fullback, really bright, positive, goes on the inside of Emerson Royale, lovely little step over, then drives into the box, gets to the byline. He's had a great game, hasn't he, so far?
Smashing game. Now Christian Eriksen with the latest corner for Brentford in the southwest corner, away to our left-hand side.
Well, now they put Sessegnon man marking Toney. I wonder if Brentford will just tweak things slightly to get someone else free.
And Bumo's there for a short corner for it's rolled along the byline, but Eriksen's gone for the near post, headed out by Kane. Might come out to Matthias Jensen, who heads it back towards goal, flicked on by Janssen and away from danger just for the moment, but Toney drives it across the face of goal and into the arms of Hugo Lloris. Ball was pinballing around the Tottenham box there. 0-0.
Yeah, and Antonio Conte waving his arms down, just he's almost saying to Lloris, settle down, don't kick it long, let's build from the back a little bit, take our time.
Played 13 minutes of the second half on Game Day exclusive on TalkSport. 0-0. If you're just tuning in, between Brentford and Tottenham in this London derby. Tottenham needing the 3 points to go back level with Arsenal, who won live on TalkSport at lunchtime against Manchester United. And Spurs coming forward with Kane, looking to Sessegnon, left-hand corner of the box, but Godos slides in with a no-nonsense challenge. Out to play for a Spurs throw on the left-hand side. Son's going to leave it for Sessegnon to take, I think. Indeed, Ryan Sessegnon has the ball in his arms and throws it in field for Højbjerg, who passes into the centre circle for Christian Romero. Kulusevski comes short, passes out to this near side in Emerson Royale. Back for Romero once more. Dyer on the halfway line, thought about a diagonal down the left-hand side, but then flicks it to his right for Højbjerg. Emerson Royale once again looking to get the better of Henry, who's dispossessed him once again, and then Eriksen and Mbumo feed it to Henry once more, and a lovely little clip pass down the inside left from Henry, getting Mbumo away, but Bentancur pushes him over, and Brentford have a free kick midway point of the Spurs half. 0-0, and Martin Atkinson showing Bentancur what he did, leaning in to Brian Mbumo.
I tell you what, he uses his body so well, doesn't he, Mbumo? Takes it in under pressure, he knows exactly where to put his bum to take the contact and wins his side a free kick.
The final 12 minutes of that game between Oldham and Salford has been played to its conclusion in an empty stadium after the game was abandoned, and it stays 2-1, and that means that Oldham are relegated. They become the first team in the Premier League era to have played in the Premier League to be relegated. It's 28 years since they dropped out of the top flight, and John Sheridan and Oldham are relegated with Scunthorpe to the National League.
Well, like I said, Antonio Conte, he wants two of his players to switch markers here. I mean, this is reminiscent of the goal against Norwich. You know, Ericsson on the ball, delivering it in. Tony scored from a similar one.
Plays a short ball down the left-hand side of the area for Mbumo, but across comes Kulusevski and puts it out of play for a corner. I make that Brentford's 10th corner of the game. 0-0 on TalkSport.
I just wonder if they put enough water on this pitch at half-time, because every one of those passes they've tried lately since they've come out, it's just always fallen short of a teammate.
Sure, the sprinklers were on, but you're right.
But you know, it hasn't quite got the same sort of zip.
Corner again for Brentford then, at the West Stand end of the ground to our left. Christian Eriksen with a right-footed in-swinger, but then he plays it short to Mbumo, who's come out to join him. Back for Eriksen, who's trying to check onto his left, sending it into the near post. Harry Kane gets the touch but can't prevent yet another Brentford corner. And what will they do from this one? That's two short corners they've tried, and Pontus Jansson's come across to have a word with Eriksen before he walks to spot the ball down. He's probably saying, get it in here.
But, or he might be saying that he might be touching on that they sort of switch markers here. We'll have to wait and see. It might be him that they aim for, somebody different rather than Tony.
Eriksen again then with this corner kick for Brentford at 0-0. An hour gone on TalkSport in the London derby. It's deep to the far post, looking for Tony to get the head on it, but it's cleared away by Emerson Royale. Hooked back into the penalty area by Roerslev. Tony inadvertently heads it to Kulusevski, but then puts himself in front of Kulusevski and wins a free kick. Fouled by the Swede, and Brentford have a free kick in a very interesting position, 25 yards or so out to the right of centre. It's close enough for somebody to have a crack at goal here. 0-0.
Yeah, Kulusevski, the touch just got away from him ever so slightly. Tony picked it up and then drew the foul. And you'd imagine, well, could be anyone on player, but obviously there's Eriksen out there.
Well, it favours a left footer.
Yeah.
So you've got Rico Henry over there.
I mean,
and Vitaly Janelt both standing over the ball. Eriksen is also directing operations. Janelt's moved away, so it's either Eriksen or Henry. There's a four-man Spurs wall that's been lined up right at the edge of the penalty area, to the left of the D as they defend the goal at the West End end, and Rico Henry very deliberately stepping back from the ball, 3 or 4 steps. Martin Atkinson blows his whistle. It's actually Eriksen that goes for it, hits the wall and goes out of play on the far side for a Brentford throw. 0-0.
Yeah, look, there's no ego about Eriksen, but you'll be a brave man to say, look, let me have this one.
Well, now Mads Bech Sorensen gets a huge roar, because the Brentford fans know potentially what's coming. Could be another long throw, but Eriksen's there again for a short throw, a bit further back down the touchline. But the Brentford towel comes into use once again. Long throw coming into the Spurs penalty area again from Mads Bech into the near post. Flicked on up in the air by Pontus Jansson, drops around the penalty spot, half cleared by Emerson Royale, poked out down the left hand side of the box looking for Godos, but he can't quite prevent the ball going out of play, but it's gone up for a throw rather than a goal kick. Just couldn't wrap his foot round it, Saman Godos, to control it and keep it in play or even get a cross in. 0-0.
It was actually a hard throw to try and get a contact on for Janssen, because it had so much air on it. It wasn't a low trajectory where you just need a little glance. I mean, Janssen had to generate all the power himself. To be honest, it was a poor throw from Sorensen. He had the length, but it just didn't have the distance or the accuracy.
Brentford 0, Tottenham 0 on TalkSport Game Day exclusive. Spurs coming forward with Ryan Sessegnon down the left-hand side. Godos goes with him, tries to hit the crossing, and it's straight out over the crossbar. Goal kick, and Antonio Conte turns disgusted down beneath us and walks back to his bench. You're listening to Brentford 0, Tottenham 0 on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with the Now Sports Day membership, you can stream all of the Sky Sports action, including Chelsea, West Ham and Liverpool, Everton, live tomorrow for £11.99 without a contract. Just search Now Sports for all the details. Ian Dancer and David Connolly with you, and Faker others as well. We should mention here at the Brentford Community Stadium, we've allowed Faye out for the night. Normally she'd be preparing for the game day phoning with Gabby Agbonlahor, but tonight we're going straight to Wembley Stadium from here for Fury against White, live and free. The only place you can hear it on the radio is with us. Now Brentford coming forward at Newell. Christian Eriksen goes for goal, and it's only just wide. Another corner, deflection off Christian Romero. A flashing left-footed drive from the former Tottenham man, and Lloris was at full stretch and struggling.
Yeah, Eric Dyer with just a giveaway pass. I mean, then they're onto it. Eriksen takes a strike from about 20 yards out, trying to bend this with his left foot into the near post. Took a little deflection. I mean, look, they're aggressive. They're on the front foot. They're trying to force turnovers. So, I mean, certainly Tottenham had the better of the first 10-15 minutes, but Brentford have got a lot better in the last 5 or 10.
25 minutes to go. 0-0 on TalkSport. Brentford have a corner at the West End end away to our left, and Christian Eriksen again on duty. Drifts it right into the crossbar. Lloris comes out to punch, flaps at it. Comes out to Roerslev. Drives it across the face of goal. Headed off the line. Come off the chest of somebody who stopped it going. And Eriksen with a drive. Blocked at the near post by Lloris. Spurs living on their nerves at the moment, but now they might be able to counter. Son bring the ball away, threads it up to Højbjerg on halfway, wrestling for the ball with Janssen, who fouls him, and that's going to be a yellow card potentially for Pontus Janssen. Indeed it is, for hauling down Højbjerg, and it was Kane that cleared it off the line in the end. At the other end, but here comes Sessegnon. Rolls it back to Son at the edge of the area, trying to make room for a shot, but Janelt's closing him down. Sessegnon drives for the byline, tries to get the cross in, and it's behind for a corner kick to Spurs. Action at both ends as Kane cleared off the line earlier as Roerslev ball across the face of goal was sent goal was by Janssen.
Yeah, terrific header clear, and then obviously Eriksen with that strike low at the near post, really clever, trying to deceive Lloris, thinking he's going to bend it into the far corner. Instead reverses it towards the near, gets down well.
Son with the corner at the northeast corner of the ground in front of those travelling Spurs fans. In it comes whipped to the near post. Bentancur flicks it on, but it's over the top. And we've got a quarter of the game to go on TalkSport. We still haven't had the breakthrough, but Harry Kane, who hasn't scored against Brentford, he's scored against every other Premier League team he's faced, prevented Brentford taking a lead. And with the score at Brentford 0, Tottenham 0, here's the latest odds. Just head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now, you can get Brentford at 4-1 to win it from here at 0-0. Tottenham at 2-1, and the draw at even money. That's all thanks to Betfair. You can get a £2 free bet when you bet £10 worth of Accas or Bet Builders with their daily rewards. 18+, begambleaware.org is the website. Son somehow keeping possession with loads of Brentford players round him, and it's worked back to the halfway line for Spurs and Eric Dyer. Rolls the ball forward 5 yards for Bentancur. Got a flick ball left for Davis, trying to play an early ball up to Son Heung-min at the edge of the area. Brentford only get it half clear. Davis with a deep cross this time from the Tottenham left, kept in on this near side by Emerson Royal. Rolled back to Højbjerg. Eriksen standing in front of him. Royal tries to nutmeg Rico Henry. He wasn't buying that, and then he got fouled, but the referee says play on because Brentford had got possession. Henry goes infield to Janelt, who was caught late by Højbjerg, but again Martin Atkinson wastes play on as Eriksen looks to fire the ball downfield for Mbumo, and Jensen's got the better of Sessegnon, and now Godos galloping down the right hand side, but Ben Davies got there first, vitally for Tottenham Hotspur, and then Roerslev can't keep the ball on the far side, and it's a Tottenham throw. It's harem scarum stuff here at the Brentford Community Stadium. 0-0.
Yeah, there's a lot of turnovers at the minute. I mean, Jensen's got a simple ball to play to Godos, and instead leaves him short. Davis nips in, he clears it down the line. Roerslev knocks it out of play, and quite a few unforced errors. I mean, it's a much more open game, the second 45.
That's Davy Connolly, former Premier League and Republic of Ireland striker. You can hear alongside me Ian Danta here at the Brentford Community Stadium. Just over 20 minutes to play in this London derby. Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. And Ryan Sessegnon down the left hand side of the Brentford penalty area gets dispossessed. Godos keeping it in play, flicks it in field somehow to Vitaly Janelt, and then Roerslev fires it up to Mbumo, who's muscled out of it by Eric Dyer. Now Bentancur drifts in field, looking to feed it through to Harry Kane, but Roerslev with an important touch. Good quick feet from Vitaly Janelt, and then Rico Henry looks for Tony on halfway, guides it down looking for Eriksen. Then went Højbjerg, got a nudge in the back from Eriksen. Spurs have a free kick right in front of our commentary position, just inside the Brentford half. 0-0.
Yeah, Tony just with a little layoff to Eriksen, just left him short. There's been a few of those in the second 45. Maybe a few misplaced passes and touches. Players may be tired.
Just over 20 minutes to go then. If you're just tuning into Game day exclusive on TalkSport. 0-0 between Brentford and Spurs, but here comes Tottenham again with Sessegnon down the far left-hand side of the field. The cross ricochets into the box off the back heel of Saman Ghoddos, and a no-nonsense clearance up towards halfway, but it's won back by the purple shirts of Tottenham. Here's Bentancur, midway point of the Brentford half, tries to play a square ball to Kulusevski. It makes its way through to the Swede eventually, who checks onto his left, plays the ball back in field to Bentancur, laid off to Højbjerg. All 11 Brentford players behind the ball, and they're in their own defensive third.
Yeah, I mean the distances from front to back's what, about 20 yards? So hard for Tottenham to find a way through.
Kulusevski trying to find a way through, cutting in from this near side into the centre of the half. Square ball for Ben Davies, who then sends an early pass out to Son, left-hand side, 10 yards from the dead ball line, whips the ball in dangerously to the near post, but it won't find Kane. It only finds the gloves of David Raya. 0-0.
Yeah, you could say with their deliveries in the box today, Tottenham been pretty poor. You know, they've either gone too big and out the back post, or straight into the arms of Luis and under hit. So they're crossing into the area, haven't been effective at all today.
20 minutes to go and still no substitutions made by either manager, as Christian Romero and Ivan Toney both go down, clash of heads just on the halfway line, and they're both writhing in agony just in front of our commentary position, so both sets of physios on to administer treatment, and that gives the other players the chance to come to this near touchline and take on some water and some instructions from their coaching staff. So don't forget, as soon as we're done here, don't touch that dial, because we'll head round, as David Connolly rightly says, the North Circular to Wembley Stadium. None of this M25 nonsense.
Well, not unless you want to treble your journey time.
No, well, it's a fair point. Round the A406 to Wembley Stadium. Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, Spencer Oliver and Andy Clark, your team ringside at Wembley Stadium for the little matter of Tyson Fury's homecoming against Dillian White. Live coverage starts from 7:30, and I think Tyson's brother's on the undercard as well. We may find out how he gets on. But all the action into the wee small hours here on TalkSport, live and free. You won't get it anywhere else on national radio, so just keep it here, and we'll take you to Wembley Stadium next. There are going to be changes very shortly, certainly from a Tottenham perspective. Coming up in a little while, Davinson Sanchez is being readied right down beneath us by Antonio Conte.
I just wonder with this challenge, I mean, Romero rolled around, but he was holding his chest because he knew there wasn't a head contact there, but he raised his arm and it just seemed to catch Tony in the face. He's up now though, he's alright.
So Tottenham need the 3 points, but they're bringing on a defender here in Davinson Sanchez. See what that means. If it's a defender for a defender, who knows. Romero's back on, so too is Tony, and we're back underway on TalkSport in the last 20 minutes of this London derby. Still goalless between Brentford and Tottenham. Arsenal fans will be enjoying this scoreline, I'm sure.
Well, it looks like Vissa might be coming on, De Silva might be coming on for Brentford.
As Spurs come forward, Son inside the box left-hand side, runs into Ghoddos, who clears it out to the left-hand side of the area where Sessegnon's trying to get the better of Ghoddos. Works its way back to Ben Davies and further back towards Dyer, just by the centre circle. So to roll it down the left-hand side of the box for Son, but again you can hear the jeers of the Brentford faithful as that ball goes straight out of play for a Brentford goal kick. And will that mean that Antonio Conte makes the change now? Indeed he does. And it's Ryan Sessegnon who's being withdrawn to allow Davinson Sanchez on. So I assume that means that Ben Davies will go out to left wing back and Sanchez will come in as one of the three centre halves, and Sessegnon trudges off on the far side of the field to walk all the way around.
Yeah, but he could have gone to the right hand side past his own fans, but he went to the left, so he just walks past the Brentford fans. I mean,
yeah, he's going to have to run the gauntlet.
Yeah, but he'd rather run the gauntlet of the home fans rather than his own fans, which tells the story.
So Sessegnon off, Sanchez on for Spurs for their first change, and there's 16 minutes to go on TalkSport Game Day exclusive. Still we await the breakthrough between Brentford and Spurs, and it's the away side coming forward with the substitute freshly on the field, Davinson Sanchez. Now Højbjerg at the edge of the centre circle, squares the ball to his right for Christian Romero, who seems to be okay after that recent clash of heads with Tony. Kulusevski being watched by Mads Bech Sorensen. Work back to Eric Dyer in the centre circle. Spurs spread play from right to left. It's gone out to Ben Davies on that left-hand side. Little ball back into square to Eric Dyer. Once again, Brentford have everybody back in their own defensive third of the pitch, as Højbjerg strokes it back to Dyer on halfway. It's a frustrating night for Antonio Conte and co so far.
Yeah, it is, because look, I mean, Sanchez receives possession outside centre-back, travels 5 yards, lays it square, and sometimes Romero or Sanchez, one of them's got to drive with the ball. Here we go, Romero. Try and suck out Ericsson, try and drag out Mbeumo.
Well, Sanchez is coming forward now. Looked like he was winding up for a shot as he approached the left-hand corner of the box, but he's worked it out to Son. Son finds Bentancur, lays it off to Højbjerg. Bentancur keeps it alive at the left-hand corner of the box. Davison Sanchez again. There's a few waiting for a cross, but only Kane's in the penalty area at the moment for Tottenham, as it's worked back to the edge of the centre circle and Eric Dyer. Romero out to this near touchline and Kulusevski. Infield for Emerson Royal, who turns neatly away from Ericsson, level with the Brentford penalty area. Kulusevski further down towards the corner flag, trying to roll Mads Bech Sorensen. Good ball, looking for the head of Højbjerg. Gets away from him, down to the left-hand side of the box. He's won it back, Højbjerg. Down by the corner flag against Matthias Jensen. Right to the challenge of Jensen, looking for Son Heung-min, just gets over his head, and Kulusevski couldn't apply the finish. It's still in the Brentford box and only half cleared by the home side. Emerson Royal, centre of the Brentford half, finds Bentancur. Now Christian Romero. Bentancur rolls the ball into Son at the edge of the area. Little flick round the corner, doesn't come off. Tony couldn't hold on to the ball as it was worked up to halfway, and Spurs have it again with Rodrigo Bentancur. Looked out to the left-hand side for Ben Davies, but Jensen got a foot in, which meant that Davies had to run back 5 yards to collect the ball. But still Spurs have it. Bentancur finds Davies, left-hand corner of the area, drives it fiercely across the face of goal, but too fiercely for anybody in a purple shirt to get on it. And it's gone out of play for a Brentford throw on this near side. And the Bees are about to make a double change. And David Connolly, or should we just call him Nostradamus, has got it right, because it is Johan Visser and Josh Da Silva who were coming on.
Yeah, whether it's Godos, I mean, he was struggling in that. He kept going down, but the ball wasn't out of play, and his teammates saying, look, just get on with it, you've got to stand up. The ball's gone out of play now, because again, another ball in the box. This time, it doesn't matter if it's Sessegnon or Ben Davies or whoever's crossing today for Tottenham, they've put too much pace on the ball in. They've hit it out of play far too often, and what chance you got in scoring? If you're going to keep going side to side, as you're forced to by Brentford, then you've got to have a really good delivery, and it just hasn't been that today for Tottenham.
Well, Godos has been helped to his feet, and he is being withdrawn so that Johan Visser can come on to replace him. And the other change is Matthias Jensen being replaced by Josh Da Silva. Got a red card here against Newcastle. Was out for almost a year, Josh Da Silva, with a hip injury. Former Arsenal youth player. He's coming on to replace Matthias Jensen.
He's a good player, Josh Da Silva. Well, look, you've seen so much, like we
saw him in the championship running games.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to really add to the Premier League for Brentford next season. They've really missed him so far this.
So he's on. Jensen's put in a shift, so too has Godos. Well, everybody has, in a red and white striped shirt. We've got 12 minutes of normal time to go. It's still 0-0 on TalkSport.
I'm sure we saw Da Silva run the show against Newcastle here in the Cup. It was brilliant when Brentford were a championship team up against Newcastle. I'm sure it was.
Correct. But then against Newcastle in the league here, got his marching orders early.
Yeah.
And that was one of Newcastle, one of Brentford's 8 home defeats here in their inaugural Premier League campaign. But they're holding their own against London opposition once again. 11 and a half minutes to go. 0-0. And Tottenham are going to presumably get increasingly desperate. You would sense that the point isn't really enough.
No, absolutely not.
Here's Højbjerg for Spurs, midway point of the Brentford half. Kulusevski trying to get some quick passing going to find Kane at the edge of the area. Cleared away, but only as far as Christian Romero. And again, Spurs are trying to hem Brentford inside their own defensive third.
Yeah, but if you look at, you've got Jan Elk now, Da Silva, Ericsson, just sliding, screening, getting across, preventing those little passes into Kane.
Here's Emerson Royal, level with the Brentford box, right-hand side. Godos taking a round of applause from the supporters around us as he arrives back at the bench. Here's Kulusevski inside the area, forcing Janelt to just toe poke it behind for a corner to Tottenham Hotspur, away to our right-hand side, 0-0.
Yeah, what they need is someone to do the unexpected, and Kulusevski looked like he's just going to play it safe here and did a little fake turn and got to the byline. Nearly got in there. That's what they need, some invention.
Ball's being spotted down by Son, just down to our right-hand side in the south-east corner. Right-footed outswinger to come for Tottenham. Heading towards the last 10 minutes on TalkSport, goalless. Son strikes the corner onto the 6-yard line, headed away by Janssen. Kulusevski trying to keep it alive. Højbjerg will get there on the left-hand side of the box first to retain possession for Spurs. Rolls it back for Bentancur. Ball into the box. It's half cleared by Brentford, comes out to Davinson Sanchez, trying to turn at the edge of the area and shoot. Ends up laying it off to Son. Clip ball back into the box, into a forest of legs. Josh Da Silva says anywhere will do. Clears it straight onto the chest of Ben Davis. Left-hand side. It's a packed penalty area as it comes out to Kulusevski. Right-footed ball into the box. It's headed across the face of goal by Christian Romero. And then Visser and Tony between them try and keep the ball in play. And it's actually gone out for throw into Tottenham on this near side. Stays 0-0 on TalkSport. Just further to that breaking news story I gave you earlier, a statement from the EFL's been released. This afternoon's Sky Bet League 2 fixture between Oldham and Salford has been concluded behind closed doors. The remaining 14 minutes played resulted in the final scoreline of Oldham 1, Salford 2, and as a result Oldham have been relegated from League 2. Despite the earlier announcement of the abandonment of the fixture, after discussions with both clubs, match officials and stadium security, it was agreed the match should be concluded today. The decision was taken in order to maintain the integrity of the competition, given the importance of the fixture at both ends of the table. So Oldham are down into the National League with Scunthorpe. Spurs nearly down and out with their Champions League hopes. This will not help. They do have the North London derby to come, of course, against Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but they don't want to be a position where they're chasing rather than being chased, because that's how it's going to stand at the end of the night if things stay as they are here on TalkSport. They're going to be 2 points behind Arsenal with 5 games to play each. 0-0. 8.5 minutes of normal time to go. The ball's in the Tottenham half with Eric Dyer. Into the feet of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who turns and passes the ball along the deck just over halfway for Kulusevski. Just drives toward the penalty area. Kane, down the right-hand side of the box, wants to get the cross in. In fact, there was a handball against Kane as he hit the ball against Pontus Jansson, spotted by the assistant. It's a free kick to Brentford, and it stays 0-0 on TalkSport with 8 minutes to go, David Connolly.
Yeah, and the ball just ricocheted back to Harry Kane, came off his hand, and just seems like they've run out of ideas. I'm not too sure they had that many ideas in the first 45 anyway. Well, Lucas Moura looks like he's coming on. They just need something different, you know, to unlock this door, and you got to say Brentford have defended brilliantly to a man. You know, they look a little bit fatigued, so you just wonder whether something might happen last few minutes.
Stay with us on TalkSport for the end of this game, and then we'll take you straight to Wembley Stadium for Tyson Fury against Dillian White, exclusively live to national radio with us. Just get the app downloaded, and then you can listen to TalkSport and indeed TalkSport 2 wherever you go. Foul by Son Heung-min on Josh Da Silva, gives Brentford a free kick. Spurs fans complaining, but Martin Atkinson saying that Son was leaning into Da Silva to try and win the ball back.
Well, I think he certainly saw
Janelt rather.
Janelt coming, yeah.
Free kick given, and Brentford have a chance to work the ball into the Spurs box here. It's only 10-15 yards inside the Tottenham half of the field. Floodlights start to take effect. In comes the free kick from Ericsson, headed up in the air by Tony, tried to effect a scissor kick towards goal. Went to ground and wanted a penalty kick, nothing doing, says Martin Atkinson. Now Spurs can launch a counter downfield with Brentford having players upfield. It's Dejan Kulusevski on this near side, watched by Rico Henry. The ball in field was in, well, attempting to find Emerson Royale, but Josh Da Silva gobbled it up, and Christian Eriksen back inside his own penalty area calmly finds Vitaly Janelt, and Brentford keep control. 0-0.
Yeah, just really good tracking that time from Da Silva. Looked over his shoulder, spotted the run on the inside, knew he had to go with him, got there first, and it's just been a really good game when Brentford haven't had the ball. They've defended so well.
6 minutes to go, plus added time on TalkSport. 0-0. Lucas Moura will be on in a tick for Spurs, but they have the ball to the visitors out the left-hand side with Ben Davies. Plays a 1-2 with Son Heung-min. Now Pierre-Emile Højbjerg once again looks up, sees an option at the edge of the area, looks for Kulusevski, but Brentford get a toe in, and Visser inside his own half is fouled by Christian Romero and takes the free kick quickly for Eriksson. Now they've got players running forward. The furthest forward is Josh De Silva. De Silva keeps control of the ball, 35 yards out. Henry going on his outside, crossed into the area looking for Tony when Henry was the better ball on his outside, and Spurs have won it back, 0-0.
Yeah, just disappointing crossing the box. The easy one was to Henry. I think he saw Tony in the box. He thought, I can't turn that down, but he just didn't get enough on it.
Maybe not quite got to the pace of the game, Josh De Silva.
I think him and Visser.
Crossfield pass from Emerson Royale goes right out of play. Davinson Sanchez was sold a terrible pass there. And here comes the change for Tottenham Hotspur. And it is Emerson Royale coming off. So defender for striker. Spurs are gambling with just a few minutes to go, bringing on Lucas Moura to pep up the attack at 0-0.
Yeah, he's not happy. Antonio Conte. Let's see what that does in terms of where surely he's got to play down through the middle, so you imagine it will be what? 3-3-4 by looks of it.
Inverting the pyramid. Now a long throw potentially coming in from Brentford on the far side, but in fact Beck has left it for Mads Røslev to take. Midway point of the Tottenham half. Into the last 5 minutes on TalkSport, 0-0. Eriksson wins another throw further down that far right-hand touchline, almost level with the edge of the area. Maybe this is a Mads Beck Sorensen special, and indeed he's trotting over to that far side to collect the ball. And again a roar goes up from those supporters in the north stand.
Well, you know what's coming, and Antonio Conte just turns away and say, why do we give another throw away in this sort of area?
Sorensen drives the ball again on that towel left on the advertising hoardings, launches the throw into the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header clear by Dyer, volleyed downfield by Son, but there's nobody in a Spurs shirt on halfway. Everybody was back defending, so Rico Henry can get the ball back to David Raya. 4 minutes to go. Diagonal ball from Raya, looking to pick out Ivan Toney, brings it down superbly, level with the Spurs penalty area, left hand side, but he can't take the ball in field because Kulusevski was marking the space. Janelt plays the ball into the feet of De Silva, laid off to Janssen on halfway. Little 1-2 with Beck, and now Røslev has possession for Brentford, just over the halfway line. Eriksson hugging that far touchline. Little 1 and 2 touch passing movements from Brentford now, looking to keep the ball and frustrate Spurs. We've got 3 minutes plus added time to try and find a winner, otherwise they're going to be 2 points behind their North London rivals with 5 games to play in the Premier League. Eriksson in space inside his own half, turns and scampers into the Spurs half, finds Rico Henry left hand side for Brentford, early cross deep to the far post, and Bumo goes up, actually heads the ball up in the air and out of play for a goal kick. Looked like he was climbing superbly at the far post but couldn't get the purchase on the header. 0-0 goal kick.
Yeah, he's got a great leap on him in Bumo. This one though a little bit too deep, this ball in from Henry.
So a goal kick for Spurs. They've got 2 centre-halves inside the box. One of them, Dyer, receives the goal kick from Lloris and sends it out to Davinson Sanchez. Heading towards the last 2 minutes. Is there going to be a late knockout blow at the end of this game before we head for the potential knockout blows at Wembley Stadium? Our exclusive Fury White commentary begins at 7:30, right at the end of this game. But it's 0-0 here, and Tottenham send the ball downfield, and Lucas Moura trying to get in behind Mads Beck Sorensen, who brings him down at the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Yellow card for Mads Beck, and a free kick for Tottenham Hotspur as Lucas almost wriggled clear and into the Brentford box. 0-0.
Yeah, he just misjudged this long clearance from Dyer Sorensen. He just knew he had to make the foul before Lucas Moura got into the area, so committed it a good 5 yards outside it. By the time Moura goes down, it's about 2 yards outside the box, so he's in a really good area to the right hand side of the penalty spot. Son's on it. Penalty box, sorry. Son's on it. If it was to the right hand side of the penalty spot, that would be good.
Could still happen. Kulusevski and Son standing over this free kick, heading towards the last minute of normal time on Game Day exclusive here on TalkSport. Still goalless between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur. Little conversation between Son and Kulusevski about what they plan to do. Meantime, there's a 3-man Brentford wall standing in front of them. It's pretty much at the right-hand corner of the penalty area at the east stand end. Conte telling Davis to stay back. Son sends the free kick in, and it's claimed by David Raya. Nobody came across him and tried to get the flick on, and Raya will clear right-footed downfield, and suddenly they've got players forward, Brentford, as they try and counter. And Bumo, right-hand side, is clattered into by Bentancur. Yellow card for the Uruguayan, and a free kick for Brentford, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, that set piece, that free kick in from Son just sums Spurs up today. I mean, straight into the arms of Lloris. Their delivery from any sort of restart, wide, cross, it's either been overhit or straight into the arms of David Raya.
You listen to Brentford 0, Tottenham 0 on TalkSport with We Buy Any Car. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you with more time to enjoy the football. As we tick round towards added time, Brentford have a free kick at 0-0 inside the Tottenham half. Spurs holding their line level with the edge of the D. We're heading into 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time here on TalkSport at the Brentford Community Stadium. Ericsson whips the free kick in. Up go the heads off the post and wide from the follow-up. Massive chance for Brentford to win it. Ivan Toney's header smacked off the foot of the post, and the follow-up went wide, and Spurs have a life.
Oh, they do. Brilliant ball in from Ericsson. Tony gets up well, comes off the base of the post, and Boomer with the rebound hits the side netting. I think half the stadium thought it was in the back of the net.
0-0 it stays. Janssen with an air shot as he tried to clear the ball on halfway. What have Spurs got left in these remaining minutes of added time? Minimum 3's been added on, remember, by Martin Atkinson. Højbjerg gets the ball taken off his toe by Johan Visser. Ericsson finds Ivan Toney. He's got Christian Romero backpedaling. Looks to pass the ball into the area for Visser. It's won back by Spurs. Son works it clear to Højbjerg. Højbjerg licks for Kane, who's still inside his own half. Over the halfway line, Kane goes everything to his right as he looks up. Thinks about a diagonal ball. Plays a square ball infield to Bentancur. Kulusevski calling for it on this near touchline. He'll have it now. Level with the edge of the Brentford box. Checks onto his left foot. Deep ball to the far post. Kane tries a scissor kick just wide of the post. Wonderful effort from Kane. Ray was at full stretch, but it went the wrong side of the post for Kane, and it's a goal kick to Brentford. Stays 0-0.
Well, there's a few with their hearts in their mouths here. Brilliant bicycle kick. Oh, so close, just half a yard past that far post of David Raya. And here's that chance again from Tony. Superb header off the base of the post. The rebound now fell to Boomer on his right foot. If that's on his left, probably a goal.
Deep in stoppage time on TalkSport before we head to the boxing at Wembley. It's 0-0 between Brentford and Spurs. Brentford fans loving it. Their record in London derbies this season has been really good. Ball downfield from Raya, just volleyed straight back to him by Eric Dyer. They'll have that, Brentford, all day long, and Raya just waits for the ball to roll into his path whilst Kane tries to close him down, and the seconds tick away here in West London. Raya will clear from hands at the edge of his area, fires it downfield. Tony goes up for a header, wins the flick on. Visser trying to break down the box, but in fact it was an offside flag, or was it a foul by Tony on Christian Romero, who stayed down. And he wants a word with Ivan Toney, but I think he's just better of it.
Yeah, I think he's getting a taste of his own medicine there, because Romero certainly left one on Tony earlier. Again, he's won another flick on. He's been immense up top.
Last chance for Spurs. We're deep into added time. It's still 0-0. Diagonal ball across field from right to left. Picks out Ben Davis. Davis looking down the left-hand side of the box for Kane. It was put out of play by Roerslev for a throw. And the full-time whistle goes. It's a goalless draw in the London derby. And Spurs have dropped 2 precious points in the race for a top 4 place. Their North London rivals Arsenal now sit 2 points above them in the table with 5 games to play. And given that Brentford hit the woodwork in both halves of the match, maybe Antonio Conte might consider himself fortunate that Spurs come away from the Brentford Community Stadium with a share of the spoils. They really troubled David Raya in the Brentford goal, but Ivan Toney hit the bar with a header in the first half, smacked the base of the post with a header late on in the second, and Brentford, in their inaugural season in the Premier League, are doing great things in London derbies. Spurs pick up a point at least, but is it going to be enough? Full time at the Brentford Community Stadium. Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.